So, hi guys! Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and happy holidays. So, we have one more recipe for the rest of the year. So, today we're going to be doing something I thought would be really good if we're having a New Year's Eve party or maybe one last end of the year party. We're going to be doing spicy spinach artichoke quesadillas, or it can be made just as a dip too. So we're just kind of doing the filling, but give you guys a peek at what we're making. Just look how good and melting and delicious those look. And honestly, I can't wait to dig into these. So let's get started. So we're going to want to get a pretty good sized frying pan. I like to have one with sides on it because, you know, we're going to be putting a lot of stuff in here and mixing. And we're going to want to get this going over a medium heat. And we're going to put I almost said it wrong, a half a teaspoon of olive oil in there, which I already have mine going. And then next, we're going to put in a half a cup of your choice of vegan cream cheese. And I did the Trader Joe's one. I really like that one. It's just got a really good flavor, but just so you guys know, I know I've said it before, it's not marked as gluten-free, but there's nothing in it that's really suspect, and I haven't had any problems with it. And like I've said before, I'm usually really, really sensitive, so I do feel like that one is okay, but if you guys don't want to take a chance, then just use your favorite here. And then we're just going to let this kind of melt down, get it cooking for, we're going to do about 2 minutes. I like to let mine sit on the counter just for a little bit before we get going. And for anybody just joining us, we're doing a spicy spinach artichoke quesadilla filling or dip today. It's so yummy. I think you guys are going to want to make this one. And then of course, you know me, we're going to have to spice it up a little bit, not just do spinach artichoke. We're going to change it just a little bit. Pretty much what we're doing here is we're just getting our cream cheese nice and melted, and then we're going to start adding all our yummy flavors to it. And if you guys don't have olive oil, another oil is fine to use here if you guys want to use coconut oil, grapeseed oil, avocado oil. A lot of times I actually don't end up using olive oil because of the higher heats, but since this is a kind of a lower heat one, it's okay. But anything you have around the house. So we already got our cream cheese is already almost getting melted here. Like I said, we're doing a medium heat. You don't want it too high, but you also don't want it too low that nothing's going to melt for you, or it's just going to take forever. I'm just kind of, you know, stir it, but you don't have to aggressively. We're just kind of making sure nothing burns and everything gets melted nice and even. And what's nice with this one too, if you guys are kind of in a crunch for time, you know, one of those last, like, I need one more thing to have at the party, or I just really want something for dinner, but I don't want to spend a lot of time. This one is pretty quick because we're actually going through the whole thing, so you guys can see how fast it is. I do have to give credit to my mom for finding this one. She found it, made it for me for Christmas, and then I'm just changing it a little bit like I normally do. But it was really good the way it was, but I felt like we could make it just a little bit better. All right, so our cream cheese is pretty much melted here. We got one last chunk I'm going to kind of push down and get it melted the rest of the way. And then while we have this going, what you guys want to do is we're going to mince up 2 cloves of garlic and try to get it minced, you know, a little fine. You don't want too chunky. You want the flavor to get really evenly dispersed and stuff throughout here. And sometimes, you know, the really big chunks of garlic can be a little spicy, so we're trying to make sure it's not too overpowering too. And then we're also going to put in about a half of a small white onion diced, or just pretty much about a 1/4 cup of onion diced. And so let's go ahead and get that started getting in there. So like I said, 2 cloves of garlic minced. Get that in. And then we're going to do a half a cup of diced minced onion. Don't want it too chunky. Pretty much, you know, the smaller the bites, the better with this one. And then we're going to do 2 cups of fresh spinach. You can do baby or the big, but if you do the big, make sure you do take the stems off. We don't want the stems. And then we're going to do 8 ounces or about a half a cup of artichokes, but do dice them up. You don't want huge chunks in there. it'll just help make things a little bit easier when you go to make your quesadillas or your dips, because if you get too big of, those artichoke hearts, they can just be a little bit too much. So now we're going to get this cooking and going pretty much until the spinach gets wilted. So we're going to do about another 2 minutes. Just trying to get everything all mixed in. Make sure the cream cheese is not burn into the bottom. That's another thing why we're doing the medium heat, so nothing really burns, but just keep a constant stir going so you make sure nothing does. Then while this is going here too, now we're going to add in some of our green chilies. And if you guys don't have green chilies, you could also do some diced pickled jalapenos. You could do some banana peppers or pepperoncinis. Just something with a little bit of spice here. We don't want too much. If you did fresh jalapeno, I would just do about a half a one, no seeds. So we're just going to go ahead and put in, it's a whole little can, 4 ounces. If you guys don't, again, you guys have watched me before, I like spicy. You can always just do half a can or just a little bit to start. And you can always add more later too. Maybe if you have somebody come in or somebody in your family that's not a huge fan of spicy. It's also why I'm doing the green chilies, because it adds a little bit of spice, but more, it just adds some really good flavor. It's not too hot. Let's get that mixed in there too and start letting our spinach cook down, starting to get a little wilty. That already smells so good. Just that garlic and green chilies. Just give it a nice little bit stir. And I think we're almost at our 2 to 3 minutes, but I can see my spinach isn't wilty enough for me. So we're going to let it go just a little bit longer. And then while this is still cooking down, if you guys want, you can get the rest ready. We're going to do 2 cups of vegan mozzarella. And I actually got the Viven brand today, which is a new one. I really like it. It melts really good, has a really good classic flavor. You guys could also do, when we made our mozzarella, that was like 3 months ago, you could do that one too. Just want to make sure we have 2 cups and go ahead and just, shred it a little bit. You don't want to just throw the whole block in there because it'll take it a little longer to melt. But this one's really good. It's soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. It's got all the good stuff in it. So this was the one we used today. And then we're also going to do a half a cup of shredded Parmesan. And we did the Vial Life. I forgot to leave the thing out to show you guys, but I really like this Parmesan. It actually comes in a block like classic Parmesan. It's got that nice salty flavor to it. I really like it. And we're going to do a half a cup of that. I'm going to toss that in here in just about 30 more seconds. You're going to give spinach just a tiny bit longer. It's already smelling so good. Can't tell you guys, can't wait to eat this for my lunch. Especially since, it's going to be New Year's and we all start thinking about diet and healthy eating. So I feel like this is one last good one. It's not too unhealthy, but, with all the cheeses and stuff, it is a little fatty, but it's really delicious. And then the spinach helps add some fiber and protein and some other good things. So it's kind of a little less guilty on that one. I have to say, this is so yummy, so good. Like I said, this can be done as a dip too, which is just really good with gluten-free bread, obviously, for me. But it's really good with vegetables, just for like a dip to have out. Tell you what, it's probably one of my new addictions. Okay, so this is looking good. Spinach is about where we want it. Give you guys a peek of what we're working with. So there we go. Now we're going to add in our 2 cups of mozzarella. We're going to do a half a cup of Parmesan shredded, like I told you guys. And then for me, we're going to put in about a half a teaspoon of just cracked black pepper, because I want a little bit of pepper flavor in mine. Almost getting to the end of my cracked pepper there. We're just going to do a pinch of salt, because there is a good amount of salt already in the Parmesan and the cheeses that we're doing, but I want just a tiny bit more. And then we're also going to do probably about a half a teaspoon or just a good sized pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. Let's get this going, and then we're almost done. We're just going to keep this stirring until our cheese is melted, and then we're going to pull it off the heat. See, the cheese kind of starts soaking up the liquid a little bit, but don't worry, it's going to start melting and all coming together in just a sec for us. It smells so yummy. No, I keep saying that. I think I'm hungry. I'm not going to lie, so my mom sent me home with some extra after she made it, and I had that for dinner that night, lunch, and dinner the next day. So, to say this is really good. So just kind of keep a little stir going. You don't want anything to get too melted or burnt to the bottom. It's just, but you don't need it aggressive or not like nothing's really going to burn. But don't walk away, because this part's only going to take about another minute or two, and it's going to be done. We just have one more thing that I'm going to throw in there that's totally optional for you guys. Again, you could do this just like a classic spinach artichoke and not put in the green chilies or the onion, and just do the, you know, the garlic, spinach, and artichoke, which is really good that way too. But I always like to add more flavors to my stuff. Okay, we are almost there. I see the cheese starting to get melted. We're going to give it just about another 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll show you guys the rest. We're actually already almost done. And also, this recipe could be done in a crock pot. You would just want to do it on low heat. And I would throw the spinach in close to the end so that way it doesn't get too wilted. And it would only take about an hour, probably, maybe two, depending on your crock pot. So, you know, that's an idea for you guys too if you kind of want to get this a little bit ahead of time. But like I said, I just wouldn't put the spinach in until close to the end. Alright, we are almost there. Cheese has almost disappeared completely. So really, give you guys a peek. You can still see a few shreds in there, so that's why I'm saying I'm going to give it just a little bit longer because I want to make sure everything's nice and melted. Almost there. It's going to be a good one today. It's nice and rainy and cold in Arizona, so anything just hot and steamy seems really good. I know everywhere else you're used to this, but anything under 70 here, I feel like, you know, we think it's really cold. Alright, okay, that is about done. That looks really good, really nice and melty. Give you guys a peek at what we're, ooh, it's going to be such a delicious dip or filling for our quesadilla, which is what I'm doing. There's going to be some good leftovers, so I'm sure I will have this with some veggies later. So we're going to go ahead and turn our heat off. I'm going to leave it on the heat for just a sec, kind of let the last little bit melt. While we stir in, the last thing I'm putting in is I'm doing just one tomato, diced it up, and I'm going to toss this in here. And to me, that just kind of helps with making sure we have a quesadilla kind of thing. And the tomatoes go really well with all the flavors that we put in there. And just kind of helps give that light, fresh, crisp taste when you bite into it. So you could definitely leave out the tomatoes, but I really like them in mine, but I also really like tomatoes. So I usually try to add them to a lot of stuff. You could just do one big tomato, or if you guys want two, I didn't have any, but you would just do like a handful of cherry tomatoes and dice those up would be really good. Alright, and there we go, guys. Ooh, look how good that is. So I'm going to put some in a bowl and give you guys an idea of what we're working with. So gooey, it's almost hard to get in the bowl. That's how you know it's good. Excuse me, guys. So there is our super delicious filling, and I'll just show you guys the beginning of making our quesadilla, and then you guys can, I'm sure, figure out the rest, because we just put them in a pan and fry it up for a little bit. And what's nice right now, it's already hot, so we're not even really trying to heat the inside of the tortilla. We're just trying to get the outside nice and crispy. So I needed a spoon. So I like to do mine folded in half, but you can definitely, especially if you're doing these for a party, I would just take one full one, spread it out, and then put one on top, and then, you know, fry it up both sides and slice it. But I'll just give you guys an idea. I mean, look how yummy that looks. It's nice and melty, gooey. So I just fold it over like that. We're going to toss it into a frying pan, about maybe a minute, 2 minutes on each side till we get nice golden brown quesadilla. And give you guys one more peek at the inside. It's just so yummy. It's good just like this, but you guys could always serve it with some salsa or, you know, a little parsley, something to go on the side. But honestly, this is going to be my lunch right here. I am super excited to dig into it. So I hope you guys really like this one. I think if you try it, you're really going to like it. And like I said, there's nice versatile things that you can do with it. So let me know if you guys do and maybe what you change in here. I always love my feedback from you guys and hearing what you do with these recipes, because a lot of times it's stuff I haven't thought of and I can share with other people or just try for myself. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your year, and I will see you guys next year. Have a great day, guys. Bye.